As if this game wasn't difficult enough from a flat lie. Oof. Whew. We also have to deal with sloping lies. Oh, come on. So in this mini-series, we're going to deal with all 4 sloping lies. For short and long game, looking at the adaptations in geometry, physics, and biomechanics to get you striking the ball pure, making the right club choices, and being able to control your distance and direction. Whew. I'm Andrew Cullen, and this is Golf Yourself. Let's talk about the geometry of a flat lie first of all, and then we can adapt that very easily to the uphill lie. So when I make my setup on the flat lie, the shoulders are parallel to the ground, the upper body is perpendicular to the ground. Now in reality, for the right hand golfer, the right hand's a little lower than the left, the shoulders are just off parallel, the spine is just off perpendicular, but for the sake of our understanding, let's think parallel and perpendicular to a flat lie. The physics of the exercise from a flat lie is also very simple. I have the manufactured loft of the club and the manufactured lie of the club, so I don't alter the club position, making it either more upright, which will tend to go left, or more flat, which will tend to go right. So I don't really have a problem with the physics from a flat lie. And the biomechanics, how the body is able to move on a flat lie, is also not restricted. I have freedom of movement on the backswing, freedom of movement on the downswing. So with the uphill lie, we need to get the geometry the same as the flat lie to get the club bottoming out in the right place. So I'm parallel to the slope with the shoulders or perpendicular to the slope with my upper body. And then depending on the severity of the slope, then the weight will be more to the right hand side for the right hand golfer, and the stance will get wider to be able to stay stable. So if we get the geometry right, and very importantly we keep the geometry from start to strike in the swing, then the club will bottom out in the right place. Often the mistake people make is actually getting good geometry in the start and then changing the geometry, and then we're in big trouble where the low point is, either moving behind or even more forward. Very difficult to get pure strikes when the geometry doesn't stay the same to the slope from start to strike. And the physics of the sloping lie obviously changes from what's the manufactured loft to standing with the slope and increasing the loft. So if the ball's going to go higher, it's not going to go as far. So we need to club down. I've got a 9-iron here. I'll need to club down to my 8-iron, maybe even my 7-iron to get the same distance because of the change in physics. There's no change to the lie angle, so there's no danger of going further left or further right, but we've changed the loft and need to adapt accordingly. And thirdly then, the biomechanics of the exercise, particularly if I'm on very severe slopes, I have no restriction on the backswing, but I got a big restriction on turning through and getting the weight left. And this is where you have to use your practice swing to see if the bottom of the arc of the swing changes because you can't move forward as well. So I'd make a very deliberate practice swing trying to hit the ground. I maybe see that the low point's a little bit further back than normal because I can't move forward. I put the ball slightly further back in the stance to guarantee me trying to get a better, purer strike of the golf ball because I can't move left and rotate as well. If you're enjoying this video as much as I'm enjoying walking downhill, remember to hit the like and subscribe button so I can bring you more educational and entertaining videos. So we're on a pretty steep uphill lie short game shot now. Geometry is the same, parallel or perpendicular. The physics of the exercise, I'm going to show you 2 different shots here. So my lob wedge at 58 degrees is going to become something like a 75 or 80 degrees. It's going to go very high. I'm going to need quite a lot of swing. But because we're making a relative short swing, we're not really restricted in the whole biomechanic exercise. So I'm going to go lob wedge first of all. I'll take a practice swing again to see if I need to adapt the ball position to where the low point is. Looks good. I'm gonna have to make quite a big swing here with my 58 because it has so much loft on it. Not necessarily the wrong club, but the higher a ball goes, the more difficult it is to judge the distance. So I'm going to move down to my pitching wedge. So my 46 degrees is going to come something like my 58 degree, like a lob wedge, but I won't have to make as much swing here. Again, get my geometry right, make a practice swing to check where the low point is, just in case I need to adapt it. All right, so we're just going to make a shorter swing, much easier to stay stable from start to strike. Both results pretty good, so you can't say it's a wrong club and a right club, but you just have to adapt your club choice because of the loft difference. Check out my other sloping lies videos here. In the meantime, let's get some practice around the greens and become masters of the slopes. Ooh, that's aggressive. Go on, baby.